All right, so I'm going to walk you guys through how you're going to kind of start building your robot in Onshape. So this is the base robot that we're all going to be building the same of to kind of get you guys used to it. And then eventually you'll build and kind of do your own thing. So you're first going to click on this Tetrix parts link. And it should, I might have to click the little arrow. Should open up in Onshape. Might take a minute. It's kind of a big document. All right, so yours will be a little bit different. It'll have like a blue bar that says like it's view only and you need to make a copy of it. So kind of an example of that. Let me show you what that would look like. Okay, so this document, they don't want you to use or anything, but it shows you how you can make a copy to edit. So you'll see that on that link that I gave you. And I would either like put your name at the beginning or at the end, just so that you know it's your copy of it. So let me go back to that link of parts. So once you have made a copy of it, you will see a couple of things. So as it's loading here, you can see this first tab says Tetrix First Tech Challenge Parts Kit or something like that. And then the other one says Robot. So this first tab is where all of the parts that you need are. And then the second one that says Robot is where you'll actually build your robot. And there's already one channel in there. So kind of remember that. So back in Schoology is the directions kind of how you're going to build this chassis. So it is a PDF document of like actually building it with the physical parts, but the same idea works for doing it in CAD. So what I would recommend is having this open on your iPad and then working on Onshape on the computer. But it goes through how to build everything. So you can kind of scroll ahead here. And so here is step one. So one thing to note is that you don't need to worry about the screws or the nuts. Don't worry about putting those in. You'll go insane trying to put all of those in on everything. So for our purposes, we're going to skip any screws or nuts. So like this first one is you need these two channel parts. So what's really handy about that parts list that I gave you is that it has all of these numbers and names. So if I know I need 39067, I can just type up here 39067 and it shows me. And if I click this little blue one, it highlights that part. So once I know I need that part, I can zoom in on it. I can right click and do copy Tetrix Max. So then you can go to your robot tab and right click and paste that part in. So then I think this first one is at 288. So we can double check here. Yep, 288. So those are the first two parts that you need. And it shows you how they get aligned. So how that works in here. So this first long piece, I'm going to do what's called fixing it, so making it be stuck in one spot. So I'm going to right click on it and click fix. So now everything will kind of get attached to this and move around this, and it doesn't really move. So then this piece, I still have the ability to move it. So I'm going to get it kind of close to where I need it so that just things are easier to see. And I think, yep, so the long one is like the flat end up. The other one's like the U shape. So you got to kind of look at how it looks. So I actually need to flip one of these. So if I just click on it, you can see these little controls and the arrows. You can rotate things around. So I want it 180. And I need to line up at the end here. So I'm going to use the fasten mate for just about everything. And I want to fasten this little hole. So the center of that hole to the center of that hole on that side. And there we go. I click the green check mark to approve it and then close. So something to be careful of. So if I delete that actually, and I move this away a little bit, maybe. All right, so you do have to be kind of careful of what side you are fastening to what side. So you have to really think about, if I'm going to glue these two pieces together, which pieces would actually be like glued and physically touching. So I'll show you again here. So I did this little hole here on the outside. And if I did this one right there, you can see they kind of went inside of each other. So we don't want that. And I messed up, I can do that. And then it kind of gets in the way. So actually, I'll just redo it. So I want this one. And if I did it from this side, you can see again, they're kind of inside of each other, and that would not physically work. So again, I can delete, and maybe it'll jump back. But if you move them kind of close to each other, so like here you can see that this surface is going to touch this surface. So I need those sides of the holes to line up. So again, I'm going to do the center of that hole and flip it around into the center of that hole. And now they're all lined up. All of those holes look good. You can actually see through, and like we would be able to put screws in there if we wanted to. So that is that first step. So then you would go to the next one, and it's building the right rail. So just the opposite side. So again, you need those two pieces. You're kind of assembling it the same. Don't worry about the screws. So you did one side and the other, and start just kind of following through these directions. But all of the parts that you need are in this first tab. You can search for them, you can delete, and it'll highlight them as you scroll over. You can also make this bigger if you want to scroll through. If you hover over one, it will also highlight it on the list too. But that's how that kind of works.